Francisco, Jake Bauer, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you, brother?
Doing well, doing well. So, where'd you grow up, and like, what was your favorite team and like, or player when you were growing up that you cheered for and stuff?
Yeah. So I grew up in Huntington Beach, California.
Okay.
Watched a lot of the Angels play. If I had to pick out a guy, I would probably say Troy Glaus was one of my favorites to watch. Yeah.
All right. Well, I grew up in the Bay Area. There's a ton of talent in California in general. Like growing up, like, how was that for you? Just kind of, and like, when did you realize like baseball was like an actual career for me?
Yeah. I mean, the talent growing up was crazy. It was
Yeah.
probably the best. I mean, obviously, I'm a little biased, but I would say the best youth baseball in the country.
Yeah.
As far as when I thought it could be a career for me, I don't know. I don't know if I ever really thought about it that way. I think all the way even up to the big leagues, it was just something I loved to do and something that I wanted to do, and I was going to do it as long as possible.
How was that for you getting drafted out of high school, skipping college, and just going straight to pro ball?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I had to grow up real quick. I mean, I was 17 when I graduated high school, 17 when I got drafted. So, moved out of my parents' house and went to play baseball full time. And yeah, like I said, you got to grow up quick.
Yeah. Like, what's like your best minor league grind story?
Minor league grind story. I mean, it would probably be just one of the numerous times that those buses break down on the side of the highway and it's 95 degrees somewhere in the south. Yeah, that's never fun, but I mean, you don't know any better at the time, so it's not as bad as it sounds looking back and telling the stories and stuff like that, because you're just hanging out with your boys, just having a good time, even in a situation like that. So I got plenty of those stories, but yeah, no, I wouldn't trade anything.
And minor league fans are very intense. Like that's like some areas, like they're in the middle of nowhere. That's the only team they got. What's like the best chirp you've heard from like fans?
The best chirp I've heard. I don't know, man. I really try to block that out. I mean, nothing really compares to playing in Yankee Stadium as a visiting player. I mean, playing in the outfield, you got people talking about your mom and stuff like that, and yeah, so you got to kind of block it out after a while. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask like what fan base is like the most intense, but you say the Yankees fans are probably the hardest to play in front of. I've heard like Philly, Yankees.
Yeah. No, I'd say the Yankees for sure. I mean, I've been on both sides, so playing as a visitor in Yankee Stadium, and then obviously playing for the Yankees last year. It's intense both ways, so definitely got to choose them.
What was your like welcome to the majors moment, like off the field, not like on the field, but like it's not the minor league grind anymore.
Probably my first big league flight.
Yeah.
You get on the plane, and it's not your normal plane with just 40 rows of seats. There's first class reclining seats everywhere, tables to play cards at and stuff like that. So once I got on that plane, I was like, oh damn, like all right, like this is the big leagues.
Yeah. Like the biggest, you don't have to say names, but like you see some big money dropping in those games.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some big money going on in those games. I won't name any names, but I've seen Nestor Cortez win quite a few card games on the flights. Seems like he's got some kind of horseshoe hidden somewhere, but he's a lucky dude. Yeah.
What was about your first big league hit? Like, what do you remember? Do you have that ball still? Do you keep it? Like, are you like a big memorabilia kind of guy, like a man cave where you keep your stuff? How's that for you?
I mean, I still have it. Yeah, the part that I remember was just being like 0 for 9 or something going into my third game, and I had been hitting the ball hard all over the place, just caught guys making diving plays, stuff like that. So I'm like, dang, if this is the big leagues and this is the defense in the big leagues, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a hit. But Felix Hernandez was on the mound, threw a first pitch sinker, and I pulled it in the right center gap for a double. So
that's a good person to get your first hit off. I mean, that dude's nasty. All right, so you're in a new team now. How do you go about like meeting the people and kind of adjusting into like a whole different like atmosphere and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I just try to lay back for a while, just kind of work, keep my head down, and just let all the relationships form as they kind of naturally will throughout the course of spending time with everybody. So it's kind of one of those things. I feel like I've been enough places to know that baseball guys are baseball guys, and that's all going to take care of itself.
That's awesome. What's the like most random thing you've been asked to autograph?
Most random thing, I think I autographed like a can of beans one time or something like that.
A can of beans?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why or how someone just had a can of beans in the stands. Yeah.
All right, two more questions. You go to a gas station. What's like your go-to essentials?
I'm getting the biggest Smart Water they got and a pack of honey mustard pretzel bites.
Okay. All right, and then actually I lied. Two more questions, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. What are three things you are grateful for?
Three things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my daughter. She's been a huge blessing in our lives. She's 4.5 months now, so still kind of in that baby phase. But super grateful for her. Super grateful for my wife. Without her, this life would be a lot more difficult. She makes it easy for me to do what I do, and then yeah, probably just the game of baseball in general, man. Like baseball's been really good to me, and hopefully at some point I can kind of give back.
Awesome. And let's end this. What's your biggest like pinch me moment being in the majors?
I mean, anytime you hit a home run is it's a pretty surreal feeling.
Do you have your walk up song picked out?
No, no, not yet, not yet.
If you can have one artist write your walk up song dedicated for you, like what artist would it be?
Oh, Drake for sure.